Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to our family. If you want to learn more about the reptile hobby's favourite, the ball python, then you are in the right place. What we have got for you today, guys, is a special treat. We're doing a collaboration with Ed and Reuben from Wreck-It Ralph's. The reason that I wanted to work with these guys is because I've always wanted to do a comparison video on the Burgundy versus the Ultramel. I work with the Burgundy project, chasing the Burgundy pied. Ed and Reuben are working with the Ultramel. Also, they have a visual pied Ultramel, which is a stunning animal. Star-Lord is his name, and he's absolutely fantastic and is a key feature in a lot of their videos. All of Wreck-It Ralph's social media links will be down in the description, so make sure you get on over to their platforms, check everything out, have a look at their collection. They have their own YouTube channel as well, so get on over to YouTube, check out their channel at Wreck-It Ralph's, and have a look at some of their content, guys. I have certainly enjoyed a lot of their more recent videos, having only come across their channel more recently. So do what you need to do, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff, and let's show our support to those guys. The main thing that I wanted to look at was not just the exciting expression of the visuals, but where I feel like a lot of the excitement's at within these two projects is in the hets. So from the het burgundies that I've produced, so I'm only at 2 clutches now, so not too many, but the hets are absolutely screaming out that they are het for burgundy. Really deep dark oranges, light colours up the sides, deep dark blacks. Is what I'm seeing from the het burgundies which I'm producing. And because I've never worked with the Ultramel, that got me thinking, is that the same story for the Ultramel? A lot of people think that the Ultramel and burgundies are the same thing, and they are proven allelic. They was proven by a chap named Ryan Young in the States back in 2013. So they are a compatible trait, but a lot would argue that there is a lot of differences, and hopefully we're going to explore that in this video. So without further ado then, let's get on over to Reuben and Ed and take a look at their Ultramel pied and a closer look at some of the hets that he has produced.
Hi Joe, thanks for having us on the channel, and hi to all of your viewers at TOR. For those that don't know me, I'm Ed Ralph, and behind on the camera is my son Reuben, and we are Wreck-It Ralph's. And Joe, really excited for you. I know you've got a burgundy clutch due to hatch any time, and if I got the odds right, I think you've got a 1 in 2 chance of the burgundy. If your male proves out het pied, a 1 in 2 chance of the pied as well, which means a 1 in 4 chance of the ultra pied. And so we're keeping everything crossed that maybe you hit one of those. I know it's only a couple of eggs, so but hopefully you get some good odds there. So thanks for inviting us on there. For those that don't know us, we're quite keen on the ultra pied project as well. And so Joe has asked me to have a look at some, I guess, some traits that might be able to pick up in the hets, possible markers, stuff like that. And I've got some views on that. I know that Joe has with his burgundy line. So let me first of all show you our visual. This is our male. He's called Star-Lord. People that have seen our channel will have seen him fairly often. And I will be gentle handling him because, in fact, all the snakes you're going to see were fed last night. But Star-Lord is a visual pied Ultramel, or Ultramel pied. And just want to quickly use him as an example of some of the traits. He's very low white pied. You can see, obviously, a bit of the pied marker here and here with that, and the traditional white belly underneath there. But I guess the main thing with the Ultramels is these amazing orange tones, and particularly where the darker markings would be on other morphs, them showing up as darker bits. In some morphs, Ultramel morphs, it even shows up as sort of some pale sort of purple tones. But you can see it here in Star-Lord with these darker markings down where on the regular pied these would be the sort of dark browns or even black markings. It creates a really nice contrast with the lights and the darks, and just some amazing oranges. Some bits show more than others. He's wrapped his tail around the end, but if I show you just down here, you can see some nice oranges there showing through, and various different bits as we go. An amazing snake, and we can see some other bits around the edging there with the oranges and stuff coming through. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but an amazing snake. He is 2.5 years old. We got him from Mark Regal. I'm not sure which line Mark deals in, but obviously many of you will know Regal Pythons, well-known breeder of high-end morphs in the UK, and he's a lovely boy, and like I say, he's 2.5 years old. We got him a couple of years ago, and he has actually fathered us. He actually fathered our first ever clutch, which we had last year. We'll get those out in a minute. It was just a small clutch of 5 eggs. One didn't make it, but 4 hatchlings that are all about 600 grams, and we're going to get those out now to be able to have a look at some of the different, as I say, traits that you might be able to see picked up in some of the hets as possible markers. And I personally think that there is definitely these darker tones are something that you can pick up in some of the hets. So we're going to get those out. Should just quickly explain that Ultramel is a melanistic trait, and so can create quite sort of brightening effects, and I think you can see that here in the visual, but that will also be important with the possible markers. Okay, so here are 2 of Star-Lord's youngsters from last year. I should explain that the mother was a sterling, so it's a super pastel cinnamon, so everything was pastel, and statistically half of them should have been cinnamon as well, which is a pewter like this boy here. We actually were lucky and got 3 pewters, so like this, and then just 1 with the pastel. But what I wanted to show you here is some of the contrasts and also the brightening. So this is a really bright pastel, and one of the markings that I have been seeing in the het Ultramels is that there's a real brightening effect. She's really bright. This guy's quite bright. One of his sisters is actually a lot brighter, but I think that's to do more with the particular pastel. But in particular, the contrast as well. So you can see it really well in the pastel here. I have noticed, definitely noticed, the blacks in any of the morphs that are het Ultramel are really dark. So you look at the dark there, you do get bits of blushing as well, with that lightening effect of the brightness, but the blacks are really black, and the lighter colours are really light, creating a really high contrast. It's definitely something that I have seen, and we will show you with a couple of others. You can see it to some effect with the pewter here as well, where you get the lighter colours there, creating the contrast, and even the dark bits here. But I definitely think it shows better in the pastel version. So these 2 are both about 550, 600 grams now. They're about 9 months old, 10 months old, and doing really well. But definitely something I'm seeing, and we will look at another couple of examples where we can see that even more. Okay, so this is Dawn. This is actually Reuban's snake, and she is just coming into the breeding rotation. She's about 1,600 grams. First time breeder. She's being paired to Star-Lord, the pied Ultramel, or the Ultramel pied. I don't think she's a brilliant example of pastel. She's sort of browning out a little bit here, or getting that muddiness that's sometimes associated with pastel. But brought her out here to show you again the contrast. The blacks again, she is 100% het Ultramel, and the blacks again are really, really dark. A lot darker than perhaps you'd see in a regular just straight pastel with no het there. And so I don't know if that will pick up on that, but really, really dark blacks here that's really contrasting to the other bit. In fact, actually, I'm looking at the camera now, and it is actually bringing some of her colour in the side there as well, which is nice. But you can see high contrast, really dark, and these dark markings are what would create that contrast in the visual Ultramel, which would turn sort of sometimes even more purpley or whatever, depending on the combinations. So to finish off, I wanted to show you the Ultramel het version in the visual pied. This is Pepper. She is actually a pos het Ultramel. She is a pied, as you can see, again a very low white pied. But she's 50% het for Ultramel. I am fairly convinced this girl is going to prove out. And the thing that lets me think that again is you've got this brightening. This is a regular pied. There is nothing else. There's no yellow belly or anything like this, even though there is a little bit of pixelation here. But you see the brightness coming down the flanks in just this regular pied. So you've got brightness down the side, and again the darks, the blacks are really, really quite dark, creating this really nice high contrast snake. Just a regular pied, I must emphasize that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a straight pied. So this is Wanda, who is not het for anything. I'm just going to put her on top, and hopefully, if we can zoom in, we'll see the camera might pick that up. Maybe I have to take them out of the boxes, I don't know, to be able to see that side by side. If I get that out, to be able to see the difference. So here you've got the one which is het. Can you see the contrast in the darker markings between the pos het? But I'm fairly convinced that it's going to prove out here. All these dark markings compared with the regular pied with no het influence. Definitely there's a higher contrast that hopefully you can see. Darker markings, brighter flanks compared with the regular version. Okay. And so I know, Joe, that you've got, you believe that the Burgundy, you're struggling to even think of it as a het in some ways, because it's so obvious with some of those markings almost acting like an incomplete dominant. And certainly I am seeing similar. Might be proven wrong if this girl doesn't prove out, but I will be very surprised if she doesn't. And certainly I've seen that in the ones which I know are 100% het. So thanks again for having us, Joe. Fingers crossed that you get some good odds on that clutch, and certainly one or two Burgundies, and who knows, maybe even that pied Ultramel. Thanks again for having us. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Massive thank you to Ed and Reuben for that really comprehensive breakdown here. So hopefully I'm going to do it a bit of justice and follow up with a nice comparison here. So what we've got here is my visual Burgundy male. Just to start it off with, I'm keen to get into the hets and have a look at some of what we've seen there. But this is the visual expression. Most people know what an Ultramel looks like, and this is the Burgundy albino line. So a very similar mutation, some would argue the same. Sort of really irrelevant what I feel, that the lines should be kept separate now that we have proven them allelic. So in order to protect the integrity of each line, they need to be kept separate. But we're just going to get a good look at his colours here. really deep purples, not as deep as they are when the hatchlings, which I'm starting to see. Really bright yellows. We've also got some nice white highlights coming in up the sides there. We are getting some orange tones in the saddles and some in the blushing as well. Probably not coming out as well on camera. You can probably see that best on his head. Really blushed out head. He's not playing ball here. I don't have the luxury of a cameraman like Ed does, but I'll do my best. Next on to a couple of het Enchi girls here. So we've got 2 Enchi females, which are 100% het for Burgundy. They come from the male that you've just seen. He was paired to an Enchi het pied who was proven out to be het pied. This one's going to do a runner.
A few moments later.
Much easier to do with just one, but they are, you know, fairly similar in their expression, so we're not losing out on too much there. So just take a look at the colours coming in up the sides being the biggest giveaway, and the sort of intensity of the blacks. The banding in the Enchi is left untouched by the Burgundy influence. This is a really spectacular line of Enchi, one that I sort of hold near and dear, and was always really impressed with any Enchi offspring that came from that, from this girl's mum. But the main thing to take away is just the intensity of the colour, the yellows, sort of the golden speckling here, which you do see in Enchi typically, but it's just amped up more. We're going to see a better expression of that in the male, which I'm about to show you. So we'll take a look at him now. So there he is, there's the brother. Hopefully you're seeing straight away there the colour intensity that I'm talking about. This guy's dorsal stripe is a lot wider, and you can really see them oranges bleeding through in this example. The Enchi provides a really fertile ground for the Burgundy, het Burgundy influence to just sort of seep through, and we're really seeing it in this guy. It's almost like this guy's got an orange primer, and the colour and the pattern is laid over the top, giving him this really intense hue. When I saw this snake come out, you know, I would have been forgiven to thinking that this was Orange Dream, but there's no Orange Dream in the mix. This is just an Enchi het Burgundy, and obviously I held on to this one because he has, if you'll let me show you without biting me, he's got really strong pied markers there on the belly, so naturally I held on to this guy. But I'm actually really enjoying watching this one grow and watching him grow into his colours, and excited to see what I can do with him in the future. This is that same line of Enchi again. I'm sure you can agree that there's something special about this line of Enchi. It's everything an Enchi should be. So here we have just a double het. This one's 100% het Burgundy, possible het pied. He does have the markers. He's the only one that you've seen which isn't a hold back. I didn't sell him straight away because you can see he's a lot smaller than the others. I had a bit of trouble getting him on food earlier on, but as you can see now, he's doing absolutely fine. Really expressing that het Burgundy influence. The orange coming in on the sides there, the darks being a lot darker, the white highlights which you actually see in the visual just sort of creeping in at the edge of the saddles there. Those deep dark blacks that I've seen in all of the het Burgundies. Yeah, it's just a really pleasing to see a nice strong influence in the hets like that. You know, all intensive purposes, this snake is a normal, but it actually looks more Orange Dream than normal to me. Okay, so last one of the hets then. This is the mum of the clutch that you saw in my last video, and the clip that you're going to see next is the actual egg cutting from the 2 surviving eggs, but I digress. So this girl
Danger, danger, danger.
I've just moved her down onto the floor to get her to calm down, in the hopes that putting on the floor gets her to do a bit of free roaming. You see her tongue's flicking there, and she's sort of less defensive. But we're getting a good look at her colours here, and hopefully you're seeing the burgundy influence bleeding through in the pied pattern. This female has also got a bit of a hormonal glow going on, so she is a bit lighter than normal, but you can see the oranges at the edges of the saddles coming out, and a really high contrast dark dorsal stripe. So pieds tend to have that dorsal stripe naturally in the pattern, but it's darker with the het burgundies, very similar to what Ed reported in his het Ultramel stuff. So I'm going to cut these. Just pausing it there, guys, letting you know that unfortunately there is a deformed snake in this egg. So if you are squeamish and you're not interested in seeing that, fast forward this video to the 24th minute and you should miss out any of the nasties. Thanks very much, guys. Enjoy. See what we've got. Really hoping to see a pied here, but with 2 eggs it's long odds on a het-to-het pairing. And we have a bit of a mess in there. There's twins, and one of them's quite badly kinked, but the other one looks fine. Oh dear. That is alive. We do have twins in there. One looks okay, and then one looks quite severely deformed. It's got a bit of shark mouth, and it is very oh no, it's pulled inside out there. The first time I've ever hit twins, and one twin is a bit of a car crash. Okay, all right. That snake does look very severely deformed, and I don't want to leave it, but I also don't want to. I can't do anything until the healthy twin is out the egg. So hopefully we have a happier story in this egg. Not that one's all bad, but this whole project's been a bit like that this so far. So here we've got another burgundy, a much better size, shape and colour. So that's a result. There they are. No prizes for guessing which one is the twin. You can see this one here is significantly smaller, and it doesn't have its full colours in yet. Both shed out perfectly fine. I was thinking that this one wouldn't shed, but it did. You can see the twin here, it's a lot smaller, it's a lot thinner. It has actually, believe it or not, had 2 assist feeds. So when this came out the egg, it was quite lethargic. And I didn't absorb much of the yolk, but did absorb some. So I actually did assist feed it before it shed. That's the first time I've ever actually done it before they've shed. And it's got much more life in it now. Tongue flicking, moving about, doing all it should. I'm sure this snake will do fine. It did have another assist feed after it shed, and then I left it 2 days before filming this, so it's just getting a nice break between feeds. It's still quite thin. I was only feeding it pinkies because it's so small. Here's his brother then. This is the full spectrum of the burgundy colours. Deep dark purples, bright oranges in the saddles there, white highlights through the sides. To the untrained eye, these might look like banana, but in reality these are nothing like. There is a really strong amount of colour just coming through there. I love the orange blushing, which you can see in the flames there and on the head. Really pretty animal. And I have noticed this one does have a few pied markers. Definitely not definitive, but you know, where you'd expect to see them down near the tail. See if we can get a good look at them there. There you go. Beautiful colours. It's been up and down, this project for me, and the double visual has eluded me again for another season, but I will get there eventually. There you have it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the footage. Another unexpected turn of events there with that egg cutting. There is a little bit more to that topic than what you've seen in this video. I am thinking about doing another video on this, but this kind of topic can be viewed in a very poor light, which is damaging for the hobby. I am aware of that, and I am going to approach the topic delicately if I am going to indeed tackle it. All I want to do is just produce an educational video for my subscribers to take away, and you know, I learned quite a bit from that egg cutting alone, so I just want to share that with my audience. I don't want to share it in a clickbaity way purely for views. It's not about that. It's just about passing on what I have learnt. Massive thank you again to Ed and Reuben at Racket Rouse. Go over to their social medias, give them a follow, like, subscribe, and let's get behind this father and son team. Thanks again for the comprehensive breakdown of the Ultramel projects. I'm really seeing a lot of similarities between the Ultramel and the Burgundy, more similarities than I am seeing differences, but nonetheless I do believe that we need to treat these lines as 2 separate lines. They have been proven allelic now, so it's important to keep it separate and protect the integrity of both lines. So that'll do it for today, guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next one.